Get ready for WKCJ Gospel Radio Live Show from 5 to 7 on Facebook Live with your host, Reverend Heights. Tune in each Tuesday through Friday from 5 to 7 on Facebook Live with good old gospel music. Let's talk about it. Read the Word of God. And we have guests. And we end with prayer on WKCJ Gospel Radio. WKCJ Gospel Radio. Good morning to everybody out there in Radio Land, everybody that's watching and everybody that's going to be watching. So glad to be back in the studio one more again. Want to welcome my co-host. I know I have to apologize to her on the airway because it ain't nobody's fault but mine. I can't blame nobody else for this because should have been back on, but first show for me and Mr. Basha for the year of 2021. And, we deal with good hot topics, community events, and awareness. And so she has some good stuff for us today that we're going to discuss and much, much more. And just glad to be here once again. And so we thank God for her taking time on her busy schedule to come and, be a part. She is one of the co-hosts of the show. We get together every second Saturday of the month and just hang out, And so so far, how the year been going for you?
Busy. You got a lot of technical stuff going on 2021.
What you talking about?
these phones and all these screens. Come on now, upgrading.
Man, trying to.
Busy, busy, busy,
Yeah.
busy. School, work, business, community, self. So busy, busy. Learning a new way to move about with COVID and all this stuff. But it's a good busy.
Okay, good, 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 good. So you've been dealing with the virus pretty good. Any family members or?
We have had some family members that did contract it, and by the grace of God, they made it through. I've known some people, not in my immediate circle, immediate family, that have struggled, and some people have lost loved ones. So um, it's been a lot. Plus, it seemed like the more they lift the COVID restriction, the more the crime starts to increase.
Yeah.
So that's another thing that we dealing with and all that great stuff. So it's been
Okay.
busy 2021, but I'm excited about it.
That's what I'm talking about. So yeah, you get a chance to share with your family, your friends, your coworkers, and all that and more. And they had this one pastor that had COVID, and I knew I should have wrote his name down. I know it was Frederick.
Price.
Yes, yes, yes. And thank you. So he, he, as they say, he gained his wings, and he's been preaching for years, and so the virus got him, and so he's going on to glory. So we want, prayers for his family. I always tell people, just because you don't know the person, that don't mean we can't pray for him because you don't know him personally. Amen. And so we want to, keep that family, his family, under, keep them in prayer, man. So I know you got a good hot topic for us, and she keeps, when I say she keeps good awareness and community stuff and all that and more. And so we thank God for that. What you got for us?
So we got several topics. Of course, we're going to slide some Black History facts in. We're going to talk about expectations related to titles. And I believe we talked about this once before, but I'm seeing another trend due to, I guess, COVID and people losing their jobs and having to readjust if your children are hybrid or homeschooling or physical schooling. People are expecting or placing expectations on people because of shared DNA, which gives you an automatic title, but it doesn't automatically give you responsibilities and all that stuff attached to it. And so people are getting upset with it. So we're going to talk about some healthy boundaries and some things I discovered during Black History Month. I don't know why people get so upset about Black History Month, because I understand that I'm Black every day, right? And I do research and try to discover new things, but I'm not going to find everything on my own.
No.
So I like Black History Month because other people point stuff out that I may never find. And they don't do it all year round. So I understand people like, oh, you're supposed to celebrate your history all year round. I understand that, but people don't. I try to, but I appreciate Black History Month.
Yeah, because this was the same thing I said about Valentine's. They talking about, well, you supposed to love them all. You are, but this is one weekend or one day to set aside, so you can maybe do a little bit extra or celebrate it if you want to.
They make it easier for Valentine's Day. Any other day other than Valentine's Day, you're going to have to go out and search for some stuff. Valentine's Day makes it easy for the person to go out and pick some stuff up. I did a live the other day on my Facebook page, and I was asking people, what if you don't get anything for Valentine's Day?
Right.
Are you upset about the situation? Or what if you get something that was handmade or handwritten, or do something that is not normally done through the process of the week, whether it be like you both take a day off and chill out in your pajamas all day because it's on a Sunday.
Yes.
So you have other opportunities to do different things. And one of my viewers was straight honest, and I love it so much. And she said that prior to her marriage in her courting season, that she let her partner know she expects something on Valentine's Day. Whether it's a written, handmade, something, she expects something on Valentine's Day. And that's why that's a good relationship.
Yeah.
You not walking into that with no misunderstandings of, oh, I didn't know you wanted something. And I always advise people to, especially women, to give men a list. Give them a wish list of what you want.
Yeah, nothing wrong with
Help
that.
them out, cause men, you gonna get them same flowers and candy, and you mad every year because you get the same flowers and candy. But you've been accepting them every year, and you haven't expressed that. Hey, babe, I would like this for Valentine's Day. Or just give a wish list, and then let them select off the list.
Yeah.
Select off the list. Don't expect the whole list. It's a difference. Give them
Yeah.
a wish list, like to pick. So, yeah, I like holidays. I understand that some holidays were created out of a negative, toxic situation,
Hmm.
but you can always make it into a positive. People are like, oh, you can't get a positive from a negative. You definitely can.
Yeah, if you try. Yeah.
That's how batteries work.
Yeah. That's
That's
true. I like that.
that's
I
how
like that.
batteries work. So
I
we
like
gonna
that.
talk about a whole lot of stuff today.
Yeah. Nothing wrong with that. So, yeah. So we're gonna be here till what we go to 10,
11,
11. See, sorry, that's good.
11,
11.
11 o'clock.
So let's jump in there.
Okay, so first of all, let me get my Black History because I screenshotted them just because I like to be able to read them exactly because I'm a little sometimes I remember, sometimes I don't.
Oh, I understand that.
So Dr. Walter McAfee,
Mm-hmm.
the African American mathematician and physicist who was the first to calculate the speed to the moon in 1946.
Oh, wow. The speed to the moon.
To the moon,
Wow.
1946.
Wow.
That was fascinating to me just because of the time. I was like, who was thinking about that at that time? Okay, so Dr. Alexa Ira, and if I pronounce these names wrong, please
That's
don't
okay.
take it personal. Dr. Alexis Irene Kennedy,
Kennedy.
Canady, became the first African American female to become a neurosurgeon in the United States,
Mm-hmm.
which is awesome because they used to didn't even we used to couldn't even read. So to become a neurosurgeon is awesome. Um,
Okay. I'm gonna let Tabasha have it. I gotta break away.
so though we're gonna do Black History facts throughout the thing. So where is that so I can read the comments?
Ain't nobody up yet anyway.
Okay, thanks. Okay, just in case. I mean, we're gonna talk to some people. Okay, so we're gonna talk about expectations related to titles. And I'm gonna read off some stuff. If you chime in, please let me know that you're here so I can have a conversation so I don't won't just be dictating to people because I like to talk to people. Where y'all at this morning? Let me see if I could because Reverend Ronald changed his good morning, Justin. How are you doing? See, look, I asked for somebody to be able to come on and have a conversation with me because I don't want to be ever just talking to myself. Good morning, good morning. Good morning, Miss Brenda Ford. How are you doing this morning? See, I asked and I received. I'm so grateful because I don't want to just get up here and talk to you guys like I'm lecturing. I want to have a conversation. I want to make sure that I'm talking about what people want to talk about. Reverend Ronald changed Facebook pages so much that for some reason I can't find what I'm looking for to tag so I can share it. We're going to do better. How y'all doing this morning? We're going to find it. Y'all talk to me this morning. Justin, you say you're good. How are you doing? I'm doing wonderful this morning. I'm trying to find the page so I can tag it to my own page because I want to be able to talk to some people this morning. We're going to talk about a topic that may trigger some emotional hardship. So if you have a therapist, make sure that you make an appointment to talk to your therapist. Okay, I found us, y'all. He back on the other page. Oh, mercy. How y'all doing? Y'all got any Black History facts you guys want me to share? Thanks for the for the thumbs up. Y'all got any Black History facts y'all want to share with me? I shared two this morning already. Share some Black History facts with me. I said earlier that I like Black History Month because I can't find everything on my own. So when people share stuff, it's an awesome thing to me. Reverend Ronald went on a break right quick, so y'all get to talk to me. What y'all got to talk to me about? As soon as I share this, I'm gonna be back focused. Okay, so we're going to talk about expectations related to titles. And I spoke about this once before, but I still see a trend. So when I see a trend, I like to talk about it because it seems current to everybody. But it comes with a twist due to COVID. So I've spoke about automatically having expectations on a person because they share your DNA, because they hold a certain title, because they share a skin tone with you. We tend to set ourselves up for personal failure, aggravation, being upset, and all that stuff. So I always come with definitions of stuff. So a relative is a person connected by blood or marriage. That is a relative. That is all it says. It doesn't say the duties that are required by that person because they are a relative to you. So, family, a group of one or more parents and their children living together as a unit. That was the first definition. The second definition is all descendants of a common ancestor, a race or group of people from a common stock. So, once again, that just gives you a description of how you identify a person as a family member. It does not give you duties attached to that title. Friends, a person whom one knows, with whom one has a bond or mutual affection, typically exclusive or some people have friends with benefits, sexual, or family relatives. Associates, a partner or a colleague in business or in work. So those are the titles that people usually use in response to wanting to automatically attach a duty to someone's title. But according to the dictionary, those are just titles. The duties don't automatically come because you give a person a title, or because a person was automatically given a title because you were born into a family that you had no responsibility of placing yourself in. Tabasha, what does that mean? I am a big promoter of expressing to a person what you need. In order to express to a person what you need, you have to know what you need upon your own self, right? Which means you need to know your love language and how you receive and things like that. And I always suggest to people that you have to teach people how to love you and how to take care of you and how to handle you. And it doesn't automatically come because, oh, that's my husband, he should know by now. But if you are a person that is living your life, living and not just existing, living is about constant change. So what you liked in your 20s, you may not like in your 40s, which is why I suggested earlier for Valentine's Day, give your spouse or your partner or your friend that you're expecting something from a wish list. Also, if it's not your spouse or your lifetime partner or someone that you're committed to, um, even if it is, you should have a conversation. Are we exchanging gifts this year? And do we have a spending limit this year? Or do we have a theme this year? You can make it interesting. You don't have to receive the same thing every year. I know a couple that do T-shirt exchange for Valentine's Day. I thought that was pretty awesome. Although T-shirts are now becoming a little bit more expensive. Yeah, he just walked back in, Justin. He just strolled back in on me.
What's going on,
He
Justin?
dart and dash. We have Justin and we have Miss Brenda on because when you walked away, I said, Lord, I need some people to talk to because I just can't talk. And he sent me Justin and Miss Brenda, so I was very grateful. So we are just talking. I gave the definitions of relatives, families, friends, and associates. And in the description, in the definition, it gives you how to identify the person, but it doesn't give you duties attached to that person. So unlike in the Bible where it gives you some broad duties of like what a husband is supposed to do and what a wife is supposed to do, that still needs to be broken down and understood between the wife and the husband.
Okay.
So in the Bible it says what to provide and protect for a man, but that does not necessarily mean protect physically. You're supposed to protect her mind, her soul, her spirit, and all that, and provide covering, not just financial covering, but protection and all that stuff. I am starting to notice that you can definitely succeed on your own, but as a couple, it's a different type of flow. It's a different type of, I guess, because you have the ability to have that protection over you, or have that constant support if communicated correctly. But during this season, with COVID, people have lost jobs, so they're expecting family members to take care of them.
Well,
That's not necessarily an automatic duty.
yeah, that's not a good thing. I mean, because you want to be able to take care of yourself, even though you might be, unemployed or whatever. But you have to find your resources. There's nothing wrong with people helping you, but you can't depend on those people. You still have to, because even though that one job has laid you off, you might have to substitute with something else until that job calls you back
Right.
to work. And one thing about my can I say outside of the household family, because you're supposed to help each other on that end of it. But when you talk about anybody besides that lives in your home, and you don't want too much depend on them, you don't really want to depend on nobody. If you're able to go to work, you might have to, and just to be honest with you, you might have to flip burgers,
Right.
or work at a grocery store until that job says, okay, it's time to bring that person back. And right now, with the pandemic still going on, they're definitely still allowing people, still you can get the unemployment as long as your job says, hey, that person not working right now, you get unemployment. But never depend on nobody, especially as an adult. Now, children are different, but adults, come on.
But even with that being said, I think we've talked about financial responsibility on here before, and
Yes.
I've suggested that when you run your household, even though it's a 2-income household, run it as though you have one income with the other income for emergency needs. So with that being said, you have relatives that are still working full time, but you got to understand, in their mind, since this pandemic has happened, they putting stuff on the back burner and they're holding it just in case it happens to them. So don't get upset because you still working, you got the means to help me. But yeah, in their mind, they like, but I could be you at any particular time.
Right.
And we also need to use the resources out here and the referrals, and let that pride go on somewhere, because pride is having people hungry, lights off, and everything else. There are resources out here. There's unemployment. There's food stamps. There are these grants that are helping people with rent, mortgages. I think I seen one once when it first started was with car notes, but I think they phased that out real quick. But it's resources out here. You just gotta do the work. And I'm like, if you sitting at home not doing nothing, you definitely can be doing the research and the work. Yes, you're gonna have to make a lot of phone calls. You're gonna hear a lot of no's, or this not the right program, or such things like that. But the resources are out there. They're giving away. They're still giving away food boxes. Pantries are limited supply, but they're still getting what you need in. So what I'm saying is, don't become a hardship on a family because what you're seeing looks available to you, but they may have a different mindset structure. Yeah. Just because you was dropped in that family don't mean that they have to do anything for you.
Anything, because that's why, like you were saying, sometimes you gotta have. I just had the name where basically emergency funds.
Mm-hmm.
Because you never know what's gonna happen. Even though it's the pandemic, something else could happen where you in a predicament with your vehicle and something in the household. So it's always to have that rainy day money just in case these things happen. Because also, to add what you said, you go to that family member, but number one, like you said, that family member could end up like you, and they got to still take care of themselves. And then one thing I want to add is also these folks that you owe rent. Don't be clowning with your landlord because of what
the
law
COVID
says.
thing, yeah.
Don't be out there. I think it was Channel 4 that I didn't get a chance to see the special, but I see a clip of it where a lady is clowning her landlord, and I'm saying, don't you know she really got you in a trick bag, because some people are taking their stimulus and all that and not paying their bills or their rent
Right.
And they unemployment now, they taking it and doing this and doing that. But guess what? Nobody ever said that rent was gone.
Right.
It just put on the back burner.
Right.
So guess what? When all this is over, that landlord can say, "Oh,
they coming."
You know what I'm
they
saying?
Coming.
Yeah.
And then people are tearing up these people's houses. Okay, so I've seen several segments where like people weren't paying their rent and things were breaking it, but the landlord wasn't coming out to fix it because you're not paying anything on rent. Yeah. You're not giving anything, like no conversation or hey, can I give you this? Yeah. I'm getting unemployment. Can we adjust the rent to this because this is what my unemployment is? And when I got into the house, my rent was based on what my employment. Have a conversation with these landlords, because just like you lost your job, you staying in that house is their income. And people think, oh, just because you're a landlord, some of them are very well off because they are, but that's their business.
Yeah.
Don't be upset because they chose a different line of business and they are a little bit more successful financially than you are. But they getting hardships too. So go out there and pay what you're supposed to pay and stop being selfish.
Stop clowning.
Should be.
We just have to keep it real because, like I said, we're adults. So we have to keep it real with you because just like I experienced it, and I don't mind sharing it, I let my cell phone bill stack up. And that's what really made me realize that these bills are not gone. They just put them on the back burner. So once that they lifted some stuff up, they cut that phone bill off. So now I'm scrambling, trying to get the cell phones back on, for everybody. But when and I had the money, I should have took care of it. Mm-hmm. So now, I told myself I would never get in that trick bag again because it's not gone, people. It's just put on the back burner. Now, just like you said, you work with people and talk to them, then these things, you guys can work something out. But being mean and rude to them, because just like you said, even though you might see them, you think, oh, they don't need this. Some people, that is their livelihood.
Yes.
And now they're saying you can't put them out and they're not paying rent. That you got to look at it like that too. So.
What some people don't understand is that some people acquire property to become rental property, okay? But with that being understood, they still owe mortgages on those rental properties, right? Yes. So what you don't understand is that your rent is actually paying the mortgage. So if that landlord doesn't have the ability to pay the mortgage, when everything lifts, just like you didn't pay your rent, they didn't pay the mortgage, you still about to be out of the house.
Yes, ma'am.
Because now they couldn't pay the mortgage. Yes. So you're not going to be able to just boss these people around and stay in their house. Like it's levels to it, and things are connected to certain things. Mm-hmm. And right, I agree with you, Justin. But don't try to get over on. No, don't try to get over on them. Have a real, true, transparent conversation. Hey, this is how much I am getting in my household right now. I'm getting this much for unemployment, and this is my bills. Like, lay it all out. Yes. This is how much I pay on my bills.
Yes.
It's wintertime right now, so Ameren does the no shut off. But understand, like he said, when they start shutting them off, everything is going to be added up plus interest.
Yes.
Plus interest. So then you got to pay extra. So, like, be mindful. And when you thinking about, and I just, at 45 this year, I'm like, what is an emergency fund?
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, what do you put in an emergency fund?
That's the word I want.
So I'm thinking in an emergency fund, 3 months worth of rent, 3 months worth of bills. Mm-hmm. That's utility, gas, water, trash, food, car. No, if you have one, car insurance, like the necessities.
Yes.
3 months.
Yes.
Plus.
Yeah. Plus, because like you said, you name all that. And then you put at the bottom, I'm going to put so much towards this emergency fund. So if you kick that off, say for instance, you already kicked it off in January of 2020, okay? Then you continue to kick it off. I guarantee you that'll add up to that'll pay something. So when the pandemic kicked in, you say, okay, I got this. You got to really discipline yourself. Because
that's it. You got to be disciplined and obedient.
Yeah, you will spend it. Sometimes some of us like I had a family member that had an overseer over her money that she just couldn't just blow it because that's how she was.
I understand.
And so sometimes, and as adults, we don't like that, but that's what we have.
You have to admit to where you weak at.
Yes.
And if you that type of person where, because you got it, you can spend it, get an overseer.
Yes. Somebody that you really trust that will keep that money, but tell you, no, I'm not giving it to you.
And get some stuff in writing.
That's true.
Get some stuff in writing, like, when can you get it out?
Yeah.
Or because we do
what
have emergency of you getting it out, and then you got to bring your overseer that proof, and don't get mad because your overseer gonna hold you to what you said you wanted to do. See, as a coach, as a life coach, a relationship coach, that's what people get ticked off at me about.
Exactly.
Well, I'm checking to see if you did. I ain't had time to do it. Well, what you bugging me for? Because that's what you paid me to do. I'm not bugging you. I'm simply holding you accountable for what you said you wanted to do. I didn't make up this plan for you.
Yeah.
I just wrote it down, got you some resources, and I'm holding you accountable for it. And as adults, we need to understand that we need to be held accountable for some things. And if that's not our ministry, if your ministry is spending, you need to get somebody else in the ministry of saving.
Don't get nobody that's got to save.
But it ain't gonna work. Like we need some overseers that are going to be able to have the power of no.
Yes.
And you not rip them a new one or try to put your hands on them because you found these new shoes that you wanted.
New shoes, new purse, new suit, all that stuff, And so really it's good to have a good budget anyway, because sometimes we can just go crazy and like you said, shopping, eating out, stuff like that, because what we supposed to do is meet the need before the want.
Correct.
And if we meet the want before the need, something gonna miss out.
You?
Yeah.
The person, if you getting a want before you getting a need, a necessity, you gonna miss out.
So now you out there like, hey, Mr. Basha, you think you could this and that and that and this, but what we need to start doing, unless it's just a matter of life threatening, you know what I'm saying?
What's life threatening?
Well, like now, which they're not disconnecting bills, but only reason I really would do it too if you got a child, because it ain't the child's fault.
That means you already getting extra supplements anyway.
Well, yeah, that's true too.
So you still mismanaging.
Yeah.
I'm gonna wait for you to
it's
all about discipline. You just gotta you gotta pay
that's
attention.
How you gotta do it. See, she's a prime example that you call her and she says you call me because but that's what we need, somebody to say, I'm gonna steal Mr. Basha when I get ready to do my next vendors event, because I know she's good at what she does, and she's real. She gonna be like, hey, Rep, bro, I don't know what to tell you.
I know what to tell you. You just ain't gonna like to hear it. I mean,
but that's what you need.
I have the ability, as my sister say, Tabasha, you so logical, which gives me ability to sit down and listen to people.
Yeah.
And then give them a response, or like, okay, so what happened to this right here? And let's write this down. And where does this make sense? And how does this make sense? But first and foremost, when you get ready to sit down and talk to me, you gonna have to have some discipline and some obedience, not to me, to yourself.
Yeah, that's what you need.
Because I could talk to you till I'm blue in the face, just like I posted. You could take a horse to the water, but you cannot make them drink. I can give you all the resources, all the referrals, all the action plans wrote out in really good handwriting. And if you don't get your butt up and put the actions to match the plans, it's never going to work.
Yeah. And I mean, even with business owners, a lot of times they need to take their hands off finances also. So you have somebody that again, you call and say, hey, I need this, but prove it to me that you need it.
Yeah, accountants and CPA, what they call CPAs?
I think so.
CPA, yeah.
I think.
But even with that, when you are being a really good business person, because I am new to business, although my family has been in entrepreneurship all my life, but I never sat down and looked at the business discipline of it, and I'm learning it because I take camps and classes and masterminds and all that stuff. and I have a business coach, and literally it is easier than what you think if you once again have the discipline and the obedience. Like, you literally write in what you're going to pay yourself.
Yes.
And then you live off of that. Although you may have a surplus that say way more than what you putting in your own pocket, but that's what you decide to pay yourself for this year.
Yeah.
Then that's what you pay yourself for this year.
Yeah. And the thing about it is that most of the time they tell you when you start a business, you really not gonna see anything until like 2-3 years after you started.
For some.
Yeah.
I tell people, Facebook has been, not just Facebook, but social media has been getting on my last nerve because they want everybody to be business owners and bosses. Let me explain something to you. As a business owner, this ain't for everybody.
Yeah.
This ain't for no weak skin, thin skin, emotional type of people. Because people gonna come for your jugular, like straight for your jugular.
Yes.
And it is hard. It is tough, especially if you didn't take business classes or if you just wasn't taught. You gotta sit and you gotta receive from people comments, and you gotta receive what do they call it? Criticism, constructive criticism. Sometimes you just gonna have people that just gonna talk bad about you just because they ain't doing what they supposed to do. They ain't minding their business. But I did speaking engagements where I told people, even if you don't have a business, you a boss. Because you got to run your own life. You're a boss of that.
Yes.
We need people in all levels. I like to go to fast food restaurants. So we need those people to work in those fast food restaurants.
Yeah.
I like my trash being picked up.
Yes.
I love trash men.
Yes.
I like receiving mail. I don't have to go to the post office and get my mail.
Yeah.
I appreciate and love my postal service.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like, don't down somebody because of the position that they're in, because your position is different.
Yeah.
Because if you that person that makes 6 figures but go to Starbucks every day and you want to talk bad to the Starbucks person but you can't fix a cup of coffee, you got a problem.
Yeah. Because without Starbucks, guess what?
You're going to have a whole attitude.
You ain't going to have no coffee because you're going to be mad.
Listen, when I go into places, I tell people, like, that's checking me, I thank you, I appreciate you doing your job.
Oh, my God, you. Yes.
I thank you. And if I can give them a tip, I'm leaving them a tip. Me and my daughter was in the mall the other day, and I got this thing with these pretzel bites from Annie. And you know they got it right by the front door, right?
Yes.
Which is already, to me, disrespectful because it's cold by that front door, right? So I always get it on the way out. So I'm getting it on the way out. Is one container left. I'm like, Lord, you left that for me. Yes. I thank you. I appreciate you. But the dude that was checking us out looked like he had about the worst day ever. I said, and I was trying to be in my mommy mode. I say, baby, it's going to be okay. It's going to be all right. He's like, I done had a rough day. I got to go to the beauty supply store. I got to get this, and this. So I paid for my pretzel bites, and I gave him $5 because that's what I had in change. My daughter turned around and said, he having a really rough day, and gave him $10.
There you go.
When I tell you that dude looking at me and my daughter like,
wow,
that's all it took.
Yeah.
Was somebody to tell him he was appreciated and it's gonna be okay, and to give him a little blessing.
Yes.
Like, I try to pass it forward all the time without people even knowing that I'm helping them.
Right.
Cause cause somebody didn't help me and I don't know their name from Timbuktu. So I try to do the same thing. But in my thought process, in my mind, because my granny Belt told me, in order for you to receive from your creator, you got to give to somebody else.
That's right.
He ain't going to keep giving you blessings and you not sharing them.
Yeah. Yeah.
How you just going to keep everything in your cup?
Yeah.
But in the same aspect, I tell people to give from your overflow. So how you get overflow? Constantly giving.
Yeah.
It's all the joys of life.
Yeah, I mean, I've been like, eating breakfast or somebody behind me or just somebody in the room. I'd be like,
let me get that.
Let me get that.
Yeah.
And they'd be like, the one lady, she was like, oh, take this banana bread. I was like, no. Do you want that banana bread? I take it. I'm blessing you. And, I ain't looking for her. I ain't looking to have my name in lights and all that. No, it made me feel good. I was able to bless somebody, And then, like you said, your daughter seen this, and she's like, you know what? Mom is showing me a good example. Even though she's grown, she's still showing me a good example. So I'm going to follow through and do this.
Oh, my daughter is the blessing queen. She love giving gifts. She the type of person, she buy the gift too early. I got you something.
Right.
I can't wait to show it to you. And I'd be like, ooh, she know that drive me crazy because then I'd be wanting it right then and there. My anxiety be like, what you give me?
Yeah.
And I'm going to appreciate anything that anybody gives me. People be like, oh, I wish I could have gave you more. For what? I'm going to take this right here. I appreciate this. I appreciate the thought that even if you couldn't buy me, I really wanted to buy you something, but I ain't had the means. Thanks for thinking about it. I have gotten to the point, and my daughter does not believe this, but I be like, I don't need no gift. Put it in your savings account. She be like, nah, Mom, but if you don't get something, you're going to be upset. I don't know what made her think that. Because when they got to the point where they could give, I guess I was so appreciative about it that they feel like if I don't, I'm going to have a nervous breakdown. But no, because I don't want to put somebody in a financial bind trying to get me something because of somebody holiday or something like that.
But even at that, though, like you said,
Communicate with me.
They communicate, but, first of all, you do feel that way because, number one, your mom, okay? And when you were raising them, you gave them things, not only what they needed, but what they wanted too. And so you feel bad when you're not able to give mom or dad something back.
I do that for everybody.
Yeah, but
even on my birthdays, I would rather give the party than somebody give me a party because I just want to feed people, have some music, and have fun. I love celebrating life.
Yeah.
Life,
yes.
not materialistic things that I cannot take with me.
Yeah.
And if COVID didn't show you how to celebrate life
oh my God.
even more and be appreciative of the people that you have in your life, I said on my page the other day, I am grateful because I have both of my parents.
Mm-hmm.
I have a grandmother and a grandfather that is still living. I have some that are deceased.
Wow.
I have a great grand aunt who's 100+ years old living in Compton, California. Like, I have life around me.
Cali.
Yeah, she's still walking. Like, she still get up and go to church, put her jogging suit on, go to church. She'll sing to you. Now, she may forget where she going in the process of walking, but she going to sit down and it'll come to her.
Yeah.
And she like, if I ain't did it in 100 years, it ain't meant for me to do.
Yeah.
Love her to pieces.
Yeah.
But I have life around me, so I appreciate that. I appreciate my friends. And you don't always have to physically be there for me to understand that you're my friend.
Yeah. Nothing wrong with that.
Brian said negative judgment. What was the negative judgment, Brian?
I know he came in earlier and said something. He said good morning.
Are you on two different panels? Are you seeing the same thing?
I'm seeing the same thing.
Oh, I told you he got all this stuff in here. Like, I'm proud of you. Like, you've moved up from when I first said at the mic. Like, elevating up. Like, that's what it's about.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Like,
really
we got
do.
a background. I feel all fancy. A big wall.
Yeah.
Green screen. Cause I don't know how to work that stuff.
Well,
so I appreciate
thank God for you two because I was really over here stressing.
But guess what you did? You took the time to pour into what you really want to do, your purpose.
Because I just couldn't do that ugly wall behind me, and I was like, Lord, what do I do?
I don't even know what color that is.
It's actually
like
the screen says it's blue. So that's what I'm using because you can either use a green screen or a blue screen to change the background.
So it's a blue?
Yeah, it's blue.
By the grace of God.
Yes, thank you, Lord. I'm about ready to shout.
But I'm and even though you ain't got your glasses on today, you did have him at the end of 2020. We talked about that all 2020. He finally got his glasses.
Finally got him. I'm gonna get some more though. I ain't gonna lie. These make me. It's me, not nobody else. It makes me look like a nerd, so I want some kind of cool glasses. And I seen them. Not no MC Hammer pastor looking glasses, but.
Did you say MC Hammer pastor? Ain't you a pastor?
No, I'm a minister, but still, I don't want to look like.
You is so petty. Lord have the petty in them. But can you see?
I might as well buy, So I might as well buy this shiny suit and Stacey, which ain't nothing wrong with Stacey Adams, and sit back. I'm sorry. I've seen it too much in my life.
I'm not with you right now. Like,
and all I need
I'm just happy
Cadillac.
for you to get the. You describing some people. People have tried to be a blessing to me. I'm fit to read what Miss Yolanda said because Pastor up here having a whole moment by he talking about himself, y'all. Just understand that.
I'm talking about myself. I ain't talking about nobody else but myself, so I can't do it.
Let me see. Miss Yolanda said, people have tried to be a blessing to me, and I often would stop them, but God often spoke through someone else and told, so ain't no and told me to stop. Yeah, yeah. That Miss Yolanda, we have to understand that someone else's blessing is sometimes attached to us receiving some things,
Yes.
and we as African American women make it hard for people to bless us sometimes but that's because of something that has happened that we don't want somebody to have the ability to say, if I hadn't given them this, then they wouldn't be able to do this, when it's a truth behind that. And it's okay, because sometimes my blessing is attached to somebody else moving in their purpose, and that's okay.
But now I'll say this, and I agree with you 100%. If that person puts that out there, now don't get me wrong. The first time you take that blessing, that gift, but if you find out that person has actually said that, if it wasn't for me, that's what you're saying, right? If it wasn't for me, then that person wouldn't have it.
The tone is in the tone and deliverance that they said.
Okay, so saying that, and now you know that, you tell them, no, I don't mean any harm, but no, we good, because you had that. I'm thinking you doing it from the heart, but you basically saying something totally different, So I might be like, no, I'm good.
Let me explain something to you. For me, and this ain't for everybody. I don't care what you tell people.
Well, I know
because if I need something and you got it and he gave it to you to get to me, and I'm gonna get it. I'm not the person that's usually gonna ask for wants.
Oh yeah.
So this is the thing. I'm asking for a need. He provides our needs. And if he ain't giving it directly to me, he gonna give it to somebody else to give to me. I don't care who you gonna tell you help me. Yep. Yeah, girl, I heard such and such show did, and I'm grateful and appreciate it.
Yeah.
Go tell it. Yep. Go tell the world you gave me a blessing. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
But I got a different mindset.
Yeah.
Because I have a mindset that even though they running their mouth over there, what they gave me, what I needed, is gonna also bless somebody else. So I'm okay with it.
What did Brian say? Right? What does Brian say?
Brian says sometimes the Lord will put you in a place where you don't think you belong at the time. Hold on, I gotta open it up, Brian. Where you don't think that you belong at the time, but he is making you stronger to where you're going. Brian, that's a whole sermon. He will shake up your foundation and make you uncomfortable than a mug, but you have to be uncomfortable to get where he wants you to be. Because some of us have gotten way too comfortable in where we're sitting there right now. And we got to be shooken up, and we got to move. Because if you're comfortable, you're not moving. You're just stagnant. You're just sitting there. You're staying still.
Don't never get comfortable. I never get comfortable with this radio station. There's always something I want to do different,
Yeah, you want to get some new glasses.
Yeah. Yeah, I want to get some real cool glasses, man. Yeah. But somebody say he's cool, but he don't look like a pastor with a Cadillac.
I'm not going to do this with you.
With a black
You got to tell yourself you look cool.
Suit. Have you ever seen that? Look like
got relatives right now. Word to this day, and you can't tell them they ain't clean, and I'm not gonna tell them that's their style.
You gonna tell. I mean, that's their preference now. If they looking like a curtain, I ain't mad at them. And they driving a Cadillac, I can't let the Cadillac. Now I do want a Cadillac, but not because of that. But I don't want one of I don't even still make Fleetwoods, but I'm just saying, I want a big old Cadillac. But anyway. But,
Cannot with you.
So Mr. Brian is new. He is new. I've not seen him.
And he's holding a conversation.
Yeah, so Mr.
That.
Brian, we appreciate you coming in on a Saturday morning. You could have been doing anything else. You could have been hanging out in the cold, but you decided to come in and hang out with me and Mr. Basha. Again, I got to apologize to my friend, my sister, man, because she is faithful. She is faithful. And I have not been faithful, and yeah, I'm admitted, because, I'm like, I know, see, I've been knowing Tabasha for a minute, and I know she's probably thinking, I'm going to get him. I'm going to get him, just maybe not on the air, but I'm going to get him, and so, we be clowning and having fun, but she's real about what she does, and she, like I said, she is a life coach, and if you ain't ready for her, don't set that appointment, because one thing about it, she gonna do it out of love, but she ain't gonna sugarcoat it, and that's what we need. I always say that. With a lot of times when pastors get up and preach, tell it like it is, because you're trying to save, you're trying to help somebody, and so that's just like you do. You like, hey, I want to help you get through what you're going through, but guess what? I'm gonna keep it real with you.
Yeah, I hear terms that, like I've said, I'm a logical person, and I hear terms and I apply them to make them make sense.
Mm-hmm.
So, and maybe you've heard this before, there are different types of ministers, pastors, evangelists,
Mm-hmm.
people that give the word, right?
Mm-hmm.
And some people get mad at certain ways that certain churches do what they do, and I say it's levels to everything. So people get mad because they're only teaching prosperity preaching.
Uh-huh.
I'm like, well, that makes sense to me for newcomers.
Yeah.
You're trying to get them in the door.
Yeah. Not out the door.
So for newcomers, that makes sense. But when you find yourself not growing, it's okay to go to a different church.
Yeah. Yeah.
Some of these churches be trying to hold on to their members as though they are property.
Oh, yes.
And if you have given a member all that they can receive from you, give them a blessing to go on somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because then that's when them members become toxic, because they get to acting up because you ain't giving them nothing no new to feed their soul. You ain't giving them nothing no new to feed them. So now they starting to act up.
Yeah, you have to be, I believe you have to be clever with it all the time, because, people's attention span,
Is not there.
Not there at all. And so you have to do new things. You stay in the lineup with, the word and things like that, but you can be creative also.
On how to present it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've always had a problem when people be like, you have to join a church. That's me personally.
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel like I have to stand in front of these people and tell you I'm about to join your church to work in your church,
Mm-hmm.
to pour into your church. That's always been a pet peeve of mine.
Well, it's
for me, because I'm liable to go to your church this Sunday and go to somebody else's church next Sunday.
And the thing about it, just because,
and I'm gonna get my offering and tithes wherever I'm at.
Yeah, you join the church, there still don't mean you can't go. If somebody tell you, and again, you're right. Some people be like, and I always put this out here. I'm not talking about no particular church or no particular pastor, but there's some really frown up when you go visit other churches.
I'm trying to told you.
And I'm like, they have that option. They get upset because they think that you're going to seek another church, but I'm just going to visit another church.
And if you seeking another church, that's okay.
Yeah, as long as you're inside of a church, you're
not inside. You
know what I mean.
Under, because COVID changed it. As long as you under some,
as long as you're
spiritual
under
guidance,
good spiritual guidance and leadership, and that's why I think, well, even before COVID, it's like, it's just being under a good leader, a good shepherd that's going to lead you in the right direction, because let's just be honest, there's certain things that you are lacking on or don't know about,
mm-hmm.
that particular leader knows about, one thing I'll say about my bishop is that, he does his research. If you go to his library, ain't no telling what you're going to find, but he does it and he breaks it down. One thing I cannot stand, somebody to preach over my head. But,
till you can't understand it.
I can't understand it. Even with teaching, make it where it's plain enough where I understand it. That's why when I teach or when I come up with something, I try to make it plain enough where when you walk away, I understand what he's saying.
But if you are a good teacher, and some people have once again, expectations of a title. Some people have the title of a teacher, but they are really being dictators.
Yeah.
They just gonna sit up there and they're gonna spill what they're gonna spill, and they feel like if you get it, you get it. If you don't, you
Yeah,
don't. It's
see,
not
nah,
on them.
nah.
But if you are a good teacher, you're going to pay attention to your students or your
Yes.
shepherds that you are leading, and you're going to be
Yes.
looking at their face like they ain't getting this,
Yes.
or you're going to look at their actions like they not getting
And
this.
you gonna tell when they
As a
not getting
teacher,
it.
yeah, because look at them, pay
They gonna
attention.
do other things. They gonna grab their phone.
Yeah,
They gonna probably try to talk to the person next to you. So you're saying as a teacher, okay, if I'm I think most teachers now I could be wrong, but most people, I say, unless I say 30 minutes to an hour, but that hour you gonna have to be good
for what?
for teaching.
I
Just teaching.
think about 30, 45 minutes.
Okay, so you gotta be, but
That's
enough
my attention
30,
span.
45 minutes, and that's most people though.
Mm-hmm.
35 to 40 to maybe 50 minutes, you're going to have to really come with it. Well, one way you do that is keep them engaged.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm sitting there, if I'm standing there teaching, number one, a teacher will always say, "Do you have any questions?" Hey, what do you think about this? Well, like some teachers do. Well, look up this particular scripture and read it. It keeps them involved, and you ain't just like you said, a dictator standing there, and you got to be exciting when you teach. If you're sitting there like,
Oh yeah, you done lost me. It's different ways that people learn too. So you got the audible people who listen.
mm-hmm.
You have the people who have to be active while they're
Yeah.
listening, like they got to be doing something with their hands. Like
Yeah.
if you go to big conferences and you see like do gadgets on the table,
Yeah.
and you be like, why that? Because people need to be doing something
Yeah.
with their hand to comprehend.
Yes.
And then you got those people that could simply read everything and just see. I'm one of those people where I have to. I'm an audible person.
Yeah.
But you got to be an exciting audible person. Like when I go out, even doing my speaking engagements, I tell
Mhm.
people all the time, I'm not fit to sit up here and talk to y'all. Y'all didn't pay no tuition like y'all in college. We're gonna have a conversation. I'm gonna ask, and need some responses and all that type of stuff. I'm a motivational speaker, but I want to have a motivational conversation because most of the time I'm up there motivating myself, and y'all just getting some off of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I'm just telling my story.
Yeah, I mean, and that's why I say keeping them involved. Using a parable. It's parable in
Yeah.
this church, but illustrations also in the class. I've seen teachers where I'd be like, "Oh my God, are you done yet?" But
Yeah.
I've seen
Lectures.
Yeah, and you
Those are not
really
teachers.
have to get some
Those are
sleep
not
for
teachers.
them.
Yeah, ain't enough sleep in the world for me. I will have to let me record this. Thanks for technology
Yes.
because it's not gonna work.
No, but even though they're lectures, you want to try to stay woke if you can.
I'm not.
That's when Starbucks and
You know how much caffeine I would have to drink
them.
for some of these. I'm in school right now, and I be wanting to go through the screen on some of these people.
Oh wow, but that's different though. Can they see you?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say.
And my one student has learned my facial expressions
Oh,
because I'm
Lord.
taking a statistical class, and I'm dyslexic, right? And so I thought I had conquered a lot of my issues until I got in this class, which is a lot of problem solving with words and stuff. And she'll be, Tabasha, I see that look on your face. Where did I lose you at? I'm like, baby, you lost me 2 steps ago. Because she know I be sitting there like, and I wait. Okay, anybody got questions? Okay, so when you said this right here, and she be like, Tabasha, why don't you interrupt? I say, because some people need the consistency of you constantly going.
Yeah.
As long as I can come back and then you can bring me back through it, I'm okay.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
if you get too far, and
that's why I'll say this also. A lot of times, even in churches and outside of churches, if it's something that's constantly going and you're the teacher, it's also good to ask, what would you like to see happen in this particular setting? When I was over the marriage ministry, before we really got to going, I gave, the first thing we did was everybody got the paper and said, what would you like to see? What would you like to get out of this? What would you like to, the topics to be and things like that, so you can have some type of idea.
that's awesome.
Because if you don't, you're gonna sit there because you want them, number one, to be engaged. But guess what? If their opinion is important, they'll come back.
Yeah, it got to be relevant, and that's a good way to run. When I do my workshops, which I gotta tell people about, when I do my workshop, I have a topic, I have a foundation, but it's always room to move where you need to be.
Yes.
So I'm with you on that, and that's even in, like I said, in relationships, in general, like have that conversation, like what is this? What type of relationship is this?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what do you need from me in this particular position?
Yes.
And then wait for that person to respond.
Yes.
And then come to an agreement, or, okay, well, I can only give you this part of me.
Right.
And that's cool.
Right.
That other stuff, you're going to have to get that from. And that's why I tell people, like, to have multiple friends is cool. Mm-hmm. Because then you're not putting so much pressure on your other friends to get so much from a person. Mm-hmm. And I talked about this as far as being the difference from being in a monogamous relationship and being in a relationship where you have multiple people, polygamy. For some people, to understand that being in a monogamous relationship means that you're saying you're going to be that everything for that person, but you're not communicating what that everything is. Mm-hmm. You're going to set yourself up to hit a brick wall.
Yeah. Yeah. Because let's just be honest, you can't be like everything.
Because they not being everything for themselves.
You'll wear yourself out trying to do that.
I'm not. I got bad knees. I ain't
right. I mean, you sitting there like, I want this, I want that. And then you don't be honest with that person that you're in a relationship with. And they're going to come back eventually and say, but you told me you was all this. And you're not. So be honest with yourself just as well with your mate, you know.
And know the difference from a want in a relationship and a need.
And a need, yeah.
This is what I need in a relationship, which is usually your love languages. And then the wants are usually attachments to the love language. And
Good morning, Coach. I seen that book.
5 Love Languages.
Yeah, and
he has a whole bunch of them. He got for married couples. He got singles. I say married couples. He got for married, singles. He got for parenting. You got children and stuff like that.
Who now? The coach you say?
Brittany.
Oh, hey, Coach. How
That's
you
my
doing?
business coach. That's the one.
Yeah, she was on the
Make
show.
sure that I'm running my life, my business right.
Business life good.
Which is crazy because she's my business coach and I'm her life coach.
Hey, nothing wrong with that.
And that's why I say, like, receive what people have for you. And
help each other.
Take it and go with it. And then this is another thing that expectations with titles.
Before you go in that, let's take a quick break, real quick.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay. I check with her. No, we're gonna be right back, y'all. We appreciate you all. This is WKCJ Gospel Radio on a Saturday morning. You can tune in each second Saturday of the month with Reverend Heights and my co-host, Miss Tabasha Belt Holloman. All right, we're going to be right back. right, WKCJ Gospel Radio. Yes, we're back. That is Mr. Parker Stewart. Put the K back in cool. I have to be honest, when I first heard that song, I was wondering it was actually a gospel song, and it was, and things like that. So, so we're good. That is actually a gospel song. Thank you, Miss Brittany. Yes, we're going to have Miss Brittany back on. I think a good topic. Did we talk about with her how to even start a business? Did we discuss that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. My mind is bad sometimes, so we have to bring her back.
Okay, I'm going to do another Black History, a moment in Black History.
Right.
Dr. Elza Ann Grier, born a slave, she became the first African American to practice medicine in Georgia.
Okay, cool.
Okay, and I don't know because I didn't know this, but it was going around where it's a picture of Dr. Martin Luther King giving his speech, and it is said Dr. Martin Luther King had struggled with his speech, which was supposed to be kept to 5 minutes. Mm-hmm. One of the world's greatest gospel singers, Mahalia Jackson, which I truly love, shouts out to one of the world's greatest preachers. Mahalia shouts out to MLK, "Tell them about the dream, Martin. Tell them about the dream." King looked over at Jackson and then slid his written, prepared speech to the left and commenced to freestyle the "I Have a Dream" speech.
Oh, wow.
And then it's a picture that actually, if you go look for it, it's a picture. That's Martin, and then that's Mahalia turning around talking to him.
Oh, cool.
At the "I Have a Dream" speech, which I thought was really great because, as Brian said earlier, like sometimes he'll put you in a space, and she was in the right space, and she knew his purpose, and she knew what he was saying wasn't about that, and had the balls to tell him that, boy, tell him.
Right.
Sometimes we want to be so politically correct and so correct that we lose the purpose, and she's like, "No, that ain't what you supposed to be saying, Martin. Now come on now."
Yeah. I like the dream speech, but I also like the one when he did "If I Would Only Sneeze." I don't know why I like that particular message. I don't know if you ever heard it.
Nope, and I want to Google it, but the internet in here is kind of.
Yeah, it's a very good one.
What's the title?
"If I Would Have Only Sneezed."
See, that's why I be saying I'm gonna look for it.
And it's a pretty good speech, and but because somebody tried to kill him the first time, and the doctor said if he'd have sneezed, that knife would have went through his heart.
Oh, I heard about that. I just never.
Man, lady stabbed him at a book signing.
Yeah, with the fingernail file.
Yeah.
It says if I had sneezed, if I had sneezed, I would have not been here in 1963. Yeah. Awesome. I'm gonna read that.
Yeah. So I mean, I keep telling. I say this all the time. If you get an opportunity, you have children, grandchildren, nieces, nephews, whatever, get them to, and we don't know how it is with the virus right now, but get them to see the Lorraine Hotel and the Civil Rights Building and all that. It has that history in there. When you get on the bus where Rosa Parks is, and the guys with the trash, the guys that did the trash business, and the guys that protest because they didn't want to eat in the back of the restaurant. All those things are important, and they,
it's in there. And then they have another building in Memphis, that is a museum as well. They have several museums, and ironically, my ex-husband and my bonus mom, he got to see the Lorraine Hotel just yesterday. But that's an all day. That's schedule it for all day because you want to read everything. You want to listen to some stuff. You want some things you can't. Well, it's COVID. I don't know if you can still touch some stuff, but it is Black history. A lot of it in one building, and it is in your face, and it's right a lot. There. It's a lot.
Yeah, I mean, because actually the room that Dr. King was in, when you walk up to that room, and the first time I did, it kind of brought tears to my eyes because Precious Lloyd comes on.
Yeah.
When you walk up to the window.
When you pull up to the building, it's eerie.
Yes.
When you pull up on the parking lot, it's just like a somber of, wow, this is the place.
Yes. The cars and all that.
Yeah, and then to go across the street.
Yes.
And then go to the actual spot where
the guy was on.
Yeah.
I think that was a firehouse, wasn't it?
I don't
I think it
remember.
was a firehouse.
Yeah, I think they said that.
Where the guy actually was on top of the roof and shot.
So
him.
it's the actual room that is cut off, and then it's a duplicate of the room right next to the room, so you can like stand there
Yeah.
to see. But it's like when you like you said, when you walk up to where his room was, and they got like the cigarette in the ashtray, and it's just wow.
I mean, it does something to you. You know, it makes you appreciate what Dr. King and others did. You know, to pave the way for us, and we keep taking it so lightly. You know, it used to irritate me that people, Rosa Parks done all she done, and I understand people do what they do sometimes for certain reasons, but some people will run to the back of the bus, you know, when, you know, we got where we can sit anywhere we want to, you know, but I guess it's
You
not
know what I was told
what's
by
that?
some people run to the back of the bus? That's the safest place because you can see everything that's going on in front of you.
That is true.
And
never
I
thought about
totally
that.
understood that.
That is true. I mean, I never thought about that.
Because you got
part
to
of it.
think we have always been in survival mode to watch our backs.
Oh, yes.
So some people feel like I can see everything from right here.
Yeah.
And it's comfortable for them, even if they can't sit in the far back, to know that somebody behind me is thinking the same way that I'm thinking. So we all on the same level.
Yeah, nowadays you definitely got to be careful.
Yeah. And I don't sit directly in the front just out of respect for a lot of the elderly people that ride on the bus.
Yes.
And I don't want to have to get up.
Yeah.
So I'm going to sit where I don't have to get up.
Well, and, you know, and also with that, you know, I can't stand for a man to be sitting there. And sometimes, you know, even the train, the bus, you know, I'm going to offer. Now, if you don't take it,
That's different.
I don't feel bad.
Right.
But if I see Mr. You know, ma'am, you want to sit down, you know, and she says, no, I'm good. I'm going to say, you sure? And then after that, I'm going to be like, okay, I offered. You
Correct.
know? And especially when it comes to, you know, one thing that burns me up is people that disrespect elderly people. I'll be ready to crack your head. I'm just being honest. Because, you know, you should not disrespect elderly people. I seen years ago, well, not years ago.
As long as that elderly person is in the position to receive respect, because I done ran into some people that if it wasn't from my grandmother, I'd have slapped fire out of them.
Yeah, I mean, and you know, I guess I'm like, I'm gonna give it to you either way.
Baby,
because I'm gonna tell you why. With some of
I'm gonna
them,
look at you.
with their age, you never know what's going on here.
You don't know what's going on here with me either.
But you might not have like dementia or something. You might, you know, I'm saying I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt because I might not even be around them but a few minutes.
I'm gonna
few
try.
seconds, you know?
I'm gonna try, but there's been some where that's to you putting that expectation on them titles because they owe that they automatically I'm gonna give it to you, but if you lose it because of your actions, you ain't gonna keep being toxic to me because you're an elderly person.
Keep it up. No.
No.
What I would do, I would like my grandfather. He would do some things and say some things, but I would tell like some of his children and some of his grandchildren, just if you can't handle it, stay away from me.
Oh yeah,
Stay away from me because I'm not gonna be too easy with you putting, you going off on him or putting your hands on him. Because then we got a problem. If I know that he's getting, and we know our grandparents and even our parents, they can get on our nerves. So therefore, we might just say, you know what, I'm gonna go. Got a nervous problem.
because I'm like, you sure ain't got your watch on that arm, so I'm trying to figure out what you looking at over there. Because it's
so I'm like, I just, and even just walk away from it.
that was one of my other things about the expectations on titles about African Americans and taking care of their elderly people, and people putting a certain type of stigma on people who are putting their loved ones into nursing facilities. Let me explain something to y'all. Being a caregiver is not for everyone.
No.
And just because you put someone in a nursing facility does not mean that you love them any less. Yeah. Because you can be just as proactive with your family member being in a nursing facility as them being in your own home and it not being as safe and correct for them.
Yeah.
Some people are being bashed and talked about real bad. Oh, you put your people in a nursing home. You don't love them.
No.
Sometimes it's safer for that person to be in a
Yes.
nursing. Now,
Yes.
don't put them in one of the raggedy nursing
That's
homes.
what I was finna say.
Make sure you put them where your budget will let you,
Yes.
and you be present. Like
Amen,
if them
amen.
people know that you showing up, or somebody gonna show up every day,
Ooh-wee.
every 2 days, or every week,
Come on.
they gon' act accordingly. You know what
Come
I'm
on.
saying?
Come
So
on.
it's a difference from putting them there and just leaving them there. And some people are like, oh, they took care of their. Yeah, they was at that house and they was beating the crap out of them elderly people at that house. You could have just put them in a nursing facility.
Yeah, I don't.
You know
wanna
what I'm
come to their
saying?
house.
Like real talk. I've told my kids, like, if I get to the point where I'm too much for you, put me in a nursing home.
Just don't forget about
Come
it.
check on the sister every
Yes.
now, because I still want my children to be able to live their life
Yeah.
wherever they're at that particular time. And some caregivers really have to stop living their lives.
Yeah.
And to all those people out there that are taking care of people within their household, I salute you. And to their family members,
Yes.
go give them a break. My mom is a care provider right now for my granddad, who's 86 years old. She went into early retirement to help. And I gave her a break one Saturday and told her to go get some flowers. You'd have thought I'd have sent her on a cruise.
Yeah.
Because she just gets to the point where she's so overwhelmed. So in my mind, I'm like, oh, I got to do that more often.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if you and that's the thing. One of my coworkers, it was like that with his mom. He just was the only one, And I could see if you that brother or sister that's out of town. I get that, but if you're that person in town, just kind of rotate, kind of give that person a break, help that person out. And one thing I will say about the nursing home, I'm gonna be honest with you. Me personally, I'm not a fan of them. Okay, but if that's what needs to be, it needs to be. But here's what I say: do your homework, do your research,
And be present.
and be present. Don't say okay. They had this. Or I used to work at a nursing home, and I used to see some stuff. And this one lady, she just told me, she said, my son never comes to see me. And that really done something to me. She said, he's never coming to see me. He was an R&B singer. And she said, he just left me here. And one thing about a lot of the elderly people, they might say the same thing over and over and over.
Oh, I know, Mike. They definitely are.
But listen to them,
Yeah.
because,
That's funny to me.
that's what they do.
My granddad do it. He, baby, did I tell you? I be like, no, granddad, tell me again.
Tell me.
Or, baby, did I tell you? I be like, yeah, but tell me again. Because, like, sometimes they add some stuff to it. You don't know if it's for real or
Right.
not, but it makes
Just
sense at that
listen.
particular time. So, Justin said, I have a problem with people disrespecting older people. That's wrong, because one day you will be old too. You won't want nobody disrespecting you or mistreating you. This generation don't have no respect. Yeah, I'm my initial thought process is to respect everyone.
Yeah.
And my understanding is to look at the person and be like, are they genuinely being, or is this something else that they have no control over, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, because I have, like I said, I still have my grandmother who's living. I still have my great grand. And by no means necessary do I ever want that phone call for somebody to tell me somebody done mistreated one of them. Because I'm going to jail. Understood? Ain't no second guess about it. I'm going to put my hands on somebody.
Where your family member live? That's one.
Huh?
Where grandmother lives?
I told you she waited till she was 82 years old to get married last year on Father's Day and moved to Vegas.
Oh.
And I popped up on her several times already. I'd have had to go see where she live at. She stay in a senior community, so it's like one level. It's a bunch of old people. They got all their little dogs. It's really cute.
Okay.
But I had to pop up.
Okay.
But I'm okay with her.
Because I just wondering.
But my granddaddy, he right down the street.
Okay.
My grandma in Vegas, and my great grand is in Compton,
Vegas.
California. Yeah.
But
so they all a flight
all
away.
over, yeah.
They are flight away. And if I can't get to them, it's some phone calls I can make.
Uh-oh. You sound like a mafia.
Listen, because they somebody made a comment. Every time a elderly person die, a library book goes with them. Because they have so much information that if we would just sit down and listen to them. Like, I had a problem when people was doing the writing. And they was like, oh, we're not our grandparents. No, because y'all doing some real ignorant stuff. Back in the day, they took classes on how to protest.
Yeah.
They knew how to
Oh, my God.
go through some things without reacting a way that was gonna cause them some other stuff. Like don't try to say it as though you are better than them. No, just try to say it as though, okay, we're gonna take what they had and we're gonna improve on it. But you gotta sit there and understand what they had to improve on it.
True.
Yeah.
True. I mean, everything she's saying is true. I mean, you know, check on your family, especially this time of the year, because like tomorrow, the temperature is dropping even more. It's supposed to start snowing at around noontime. That's why everybody.
I just want to know where the snow came at this morning, because I promise I looked at the news and it wasn't there.
Oh, say surprise, huh?
Yeah. Check on the elderlies, because y'all know they got them heaters plugged up because they ain't want the gas turned on and all that stuff.
And some of them gonna turn their stoves on.
Yeah.
I mean, their oven. And
yeah, make sure the oven cleaned out.
That's not healthy.
I ain't no. I'm not. You can tell them till you blue in the face.
Oh yeah, they.
But go around and make all the precautions. If they got the heater on, make sure it's plugged into the wall and not an extension cord. And
if you that person,
they gonna plug it up when you leave anyway.
Yeah, if you that person that knows that person might not be safe, you might want to do one or two things. You might want to say, "Hey, come and go, hang out with me in my house."
They ain't gonna do it.
Most of them ain't gonna do it. Or if you have the time to say, "Okay, you know, I'm finna hang out with you, probably spend the night," you know, for safety reasons. You know,
that's what I'm saying. Like, if you go over there, check what they got going on.
Yeah.
If they gonna leave their stove open, make sure that everything is lit. The pilot is lit. Make sure the stove is cleaned out. Make sure if they got those space heaters plugged up, that they're plugged up to the socket in the wall and not on the extension cord.
Yes.
Make sure they ain't using them kerosene heaters that they done had since 1902, because some of them still got them.
Yeah, those things stink.
Yeah.
They really
so
do.
make sure they got enough blankets.
Yes.
Whatever they want to
some
eat.
Of them,
so
let's
they
just be honest. They ain't
gonna leave.
To turn no furnace on and nothing else. I'm sorry. If I'm cold, that's what I got it for. I'll deal with whatever I need to deal with later, for as bill wise. But you know, even if they ain't watching, sneak in there and turn it on and unplug it.
Baby, they gonna cuss you out from now to Sunday.
If you can sneak and do it, don't let them see you do it, because they're like she said, they be like, "What is you doing?"
But if you gonna do that, take over that bill.
Yeah, that's true too. I like that.
Take over that bill.
Like
my granny used to try stuff. Hey, granny, wait, she's shuffling. Like, what's she shuffling around for?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, this is what we doing? Oh, no. Pick up the phone. Hey, we need to do this. We need to do, because they ain't going to ask you for nothing, because they're a generation where the reason they not going to do it is because in their mindset, for them to have an outstanding bill meant that they were less than, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. That ain't true. I would rather you have an outstanding gas bill with heat than I'm sitting at your funeral because you done froze to death. Or what bill you get is as Ameren in Illinois and is Aspire in Missouri.
Okay.
Put something on their bill so they can turn them heats on. Or it's
enough,
grants out there too.
Pay it.
Yeah, it's grants out there too, like Heat Up St. Louis and all that stuff. Like, and some of the elderly people just don't know how to do the paperwork, so go do the paperwork for them. Or like Heap, go do the paperwork for them.
Yeah, and let me tell you something about that stuff too. As soon as you hear about it, get on it, because there's some people waiting like.
Oh, they strategic with it.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Baby, they got the paperwork already before they even released the paperwork, because they've been doing it for years.
As soon as they get an inch out there, they own it. So you have to really be on it, because the money really does go quick. And I don't know all the ins and out qualifications for it.
It's elderly goes first for LAHEAP, and then it's households with families, children under a certain age, then they go, and then they open it up to the public.
Okay.
But you got to know those dates, because what happens is the elderly people don't even know it's open to apply for it.
Right. You got to help them, y'all. You got to help them.
And no, they don't want to give y'all all their business, because they think y'all going to take their identity. So y'all got to build a rapport with them before the stuff is needed.
If you that person if you that person has not been around them, don't come out of there talking about granny. And you might mean well, because you're trying to help them. But just like she said, they going to be honest with you and be like, baby, I ain't giving you nothing.
Right.
But that one that's been around, that's the one you actually want to get the information to. Then they can get them to them, because
They're going to trust that person.
Yeah, they're gonna trust that person more than you.
Thank you, Justin.
Yeah. What did Mr. Bryan say? Mr. Bryan been hanging in there.
Mr. Bryan, thank you as well. He said you guys make a good team for conversation.
Oh, thank you. So, it's just let's say this. You have to be aware of everything nowadays, because when back then, when this pandemic first kicked off and the money was coming, you had scammers out there. Let me tell you something about me. You ain't too quick to get anything out of me. I get text messages all the time on both phones talking about, hey, you can get a loan for $4,000
every day, all day long.
Much as I need it, I'm not finna trust you. Let me tell you why. I have a quick story. Amway. I don't know if anybody ever heard of it. I did Amway for almost a year. And they told me, well, you're going to get this, you're going to get that. The one thing I found out about Amway was you already had to have money to make money. And at that time, I didn't have it. I didn't make any money. So at that time, I spent about $800. And I really didn't see anything, because everything in your house, you had to have Amway, okay? You had to have parties to sell this stuff for Amway. Now, what happens is that the person that's over you, it's like a pyramid. That person brings you in, you got to give them money. That person got to give somebody else money, but you had to have a real good income. So after that, I wasn't too quick. People come in and say, okay, you can sell insurance. But here's the thing. People get excited about money, but they don't read the background of it.
Right.
If you ever watch some of these specials about the performance and all that, and how they got excited because the record label say, okay, Tabasha, I'm gonna write you a check for $1 million, and write that check, and then Tabasha signs the contract. She's so excited, and I know a lot of people are very bad at that. They sign it, and they don't look at the fine print. They see the big stuff, but they don't see the fine print. And then when the fine print comes along later on, so you thinking, I got all this money going, I got all this money in, and you ain't got nothing.
Yeah. Because
you didn't do your homework. One thing I say to people, don't get pressured into something before you look at it. So you might have to take it to a lawyer. You might have to take it to some different eyes than yours, to see what this really says. So you can go back and say, you know what? Hold on. I'm not finna do this. This puts me in a trick bag. So therefore, you ain't too quick to get Rev in too many, I call them get rich schemes.
I that ain't my ministry.
Yeah.
Some people can make them work. Yeah. That's not me.
Not me. I'd rather start my own thing than I have a better chance of it being foolproof. And it ain't, now because some people are like, yeah, I'm getting all this, and you looking at them like, where's that? Because I don't see anything, unless you just really cheap and ain't really you really saving. I don't know. So,
some of them be that way.
Yeah.
Some of them be frugal.
Yeah. But I need to see something. I'm sorry. If you say I got this business, I'm racking $1 million a month, and then I see you pull up and the car backfiring, or
you judging.
I know, but
maybe that's a work car. Maybe they working on that car. I just seen that today. The goal is to be rich, not to look rich.
I mean, that's true. But when you're trying to win somebody into what you're doing,
presentation matters. Yeah.
You might want to see, show them something.
But then if you show me too much, I'm going to think you fake too. Because you over the top. It's a balance.
Yeah, don't be too much. Don't.
Yeah, it's a balance.
Don't get one of them curtain suits,
Here you go. I'm not.
Curtain suits and shiny shoes.
I'm not.
And the MC pastor glasses. Let's get it started.
But they got glasses on and they clothed. That's what I'm gonna say.
I ain't gonna say nothing, because to each his own. But as soon as you leave, I'm gonna be laughing.
If you gonna laugh in their face.
Nah.
No.
No.
Okay.
Because
I ain't laughing.
Some people, whatever.
I mean, if I'm a laugh, I'm a laugh. But I be trying to figure.
Some people you can't.
You can't what?
I'm not finna laugh in your face because then you might be trying to, like you said, come for the juggler, and then we gonna have real.
That's
problems.
not my fault.
But still, we ain't gonna even take that chance. We just gonna say, okay, we're not gonna give any compliments. We ain't gonna have that look. We're just gonna say when they walk away, it's gonna be on.
They gonna see it on my face as soon as they walk through the door.
Yeah.
Because my face give it away from me every time.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna be like, ooh.
Yeah, my shit gonna be like, hold on, Jesus. So no.
Fix your kids, Jesus.
Yeah. That Easter, because Easter coming up.
I was not trying to go there.
Easter coming up.
That's what I thought about when you first said it.
Easter coming up. So dark blue, shiny suit. And these are the babies. Greased up face. Brand new shoes. That they only gonna wear this suit now about one time. Unless they doing a little graduation thing or something, and they might wear it then. But
I ain't gonna say nothing because I put
haircut.
My kids. I think they had. I don't think it. Yes, they did. They had like a bronze shiny suit one time.
You do it, and you might not even do it on purpose.
Nah, that was out back then though.
Personal Touch, K&G, and St. Louis Suit Company.
Personal Touch.
All of them finna, they're gonna be making some money between March.
Personal Touch is in East St. Louis on State Street. Black owned.
Yes.
Male boutique. They have some fly suits in their shoes.
Yes, they do.
Handkerchiefs. Suspenders. They got all the stuff like that make
when
a
you
suit.
walk away, with my boy Derek.
And they donate to the community.
Oh, cool. So
they have.
With him, you walk away with everything you need.
Yes.
Down to the socks.
And you ain't gonna pay no. Now, if you go in there and order the expensive suit, but they got some suits in there that's reasonable.
You go, like me, I go to the back and tell them to blow the dust off that one, and that's the one I get. And
help the Saints shoes.
Then I go to those shoes that, kind of curled up. I'm just playing. I'm just mad. That's my boy.
Yo, I ain't gonna let you sit here and say that, and your wife probably over there like, he ain't even got that in his store. Everything in his store is nice.
No, everything is, literally
Personal touch.
is. I've been knowing him for years, and him and his family.
Like when he was across the street in the let me tell you about that. What I remember from Personal Touch, I remember he was across the street on that lot in his truck.
Yep.
Then he was across the street on that lot in the trailer.
Mm-hmm.
Then he bought his property on the other side of the street closest to the railroad tracks.
Yes.
And got a whole building.
Yeah. That's how you know. If anybody say how you get the personal touch, you say on State Street, but as soon as you see the first tracks, is it the first?
Under the viaduct, I saw.
Yeah. Okay, under the viaduct, first tracks, you right there at it.
Yeah, depending on which way you coming from, yeah.
Okay. If you're coming from the other way, I think it's the second track. Before you get to the second track. Ain't it 2 tracks?
Nah, the one go under the viaduct. The track is on top.
I thought it was 2. My fault. So the one track, either before or after, you have my boy Derek.
Yeah, Personal Touch.
Personal Touch.
Shout out to them.
Yes, and I mean, he's got walking suits.
If y'all don't know what we talking about and you done drove down State Street, it's the building where he be having his suits outside. Hanging on the building.
Yeah. Suits, walking suits, shoot. You could really, on a good day, you could really shop outside. Yep.
Because he had a suit, the socks, and the shoes, and the hat.
Everything you need. Like, if you need something real quick, you need to get, unless you need it hemmed up. But you could walk out of there with everything hat and all.
Yeah.
That was when I did have a hat, it was a Kango. And Lord knows I love that hat. I just can't find it.
Might be a reason.
It's gone.
Somebody probably got tired of it.
It's gone.
Brand probably wasn't even stiff no more.
Right. I bought my first short boots from there.
Short boots?
Yeah, the boots that, ouch, they stop at the ankle.
Booties.
Yeah, huh?
I'm sorry, that's what women call them.
Oh, okay, no, I don't call them that. I call them short boots. Short boots, And so yeah, but and I found another good place too, St. Louis Suit Company. But we have to support our own. We have to support our own.
He
Which
been
this
around
is
a
black
long
owned,
time.
though.
Yeah.
Yeah, the St. Louis Suit Company is black owned too. So, but most people don't want to drive to Clayton. So
It's in Clayton?
yes,
Bless their heart.
yeah. And I ain't known about it till my dad took me. So
I bet my daddy know it. My daddy, he a suit person.
I love suits. I just can't do the whole day with them.
Oh, my daddy, we have to pay attention when we getting ready to have a family gathering.
Yeah.
We have to go check on him.
Okay.
Cause if you don't, you gonna look crazy sitting next to him.
Cause you got a suit on.
Listen, when I tell you like dress to the T,
There you go.
cause his thing was always pay for it, it'll last longer
Yeah.
and it'll look nice.
Yeah.
And he's a working person. My dad been working at Sunset Garden for 44 years.
Oh, okay.
And
I probably
he
seen him.
wears, everybody know my dad, William. They call him Bill.
Real tall guy.
So, no, that's Johnny. So, it's my daddy, my brother, and my uncle out there.
Oh, okay.
So, in his head, he wore work clothes for work, like he had a work uniform. So, when it's time for him to dress, oh, baby, no.
Dress.
Come on now.
Oh yeah. 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 He. Nothing wrong with that.
And I'd love to see, like, I was just talking to my coworker. I like the Harlem Renaissance look when people used to like get out their work clothes and actually dress up.
Yeah.
I like that look.
Yeah. I used to like the zoo suit look. Not no more.
I mean, it was appropriate for its time.
Yeah. Because I had one and it was blue. And I don't know where it is now, but
Probably the same place that can go.
yeah, probably so. Because I just gave up.
Oh, I got to give y'all my events. That's
Yeah,
coming up.
let's get some events going on.
Okay, so I am the connection coach, Tabasha Bell Holloman.
Yes.
You can find me on Facebook at I Am Changing Life Coach Service LLC. You can find me on Instagram at I Am Changing 2020. You can go to my website at www.iamchanginglifecoachservice.com and book your appointments. I have relaunched my date night box where it is over 100 date night ideas in one box. It comes with instructions and some goodies in the inside. And I collaborated with some local business owners who, when you pick that date, their business is attached to it just for resources and referral purposes. I have Miss Ozella who does traveling painting, so you can paint with a twist at your own house. I have a portrait idea, which includes Renaissance photography. It's some other stuff in there. So you can find that on my website as well. I got to bring out my calendar, y'all. On the 16th, I will be doing an interview with Miss Sanaya on Facebook. So you can go to my Facebook page and find me on that. On the 27th, I will be on a panel with Miss Brandy. She's also a life coach. Her topic is regaining our femininity. That's a good subject title. Starting March, right now I am taking payments for my event, my yearly event that is I will be doing a seminar series. It is called Let's Move Mountains Seminar Series. Either you can pay for the whole seminar, which is $100 paid in full, or you can do each seminar date, which is March 20th, June 19th, September 19th, and December 18th. Once again, that's March 20th, June 19th, September 18th, and December 18th. If you're going to do the individual courses, it's $35 a piece. It will be from 3 to 5. You can find that on my website as well at www.iamchanginglifecoachservice.com. I'm also participating in a march to stop the violence in April that is sponsored by Legal Entertainment, I think is the name of the people. But we are marching down State Street to stop the violence. I'm a speaker at that event as well.
Wow.
If you go to my pages, you'll find all of my upcoming events. And
what date is that?
which one? The march?
Yeah.
April 24th.
April 24th.
Yeah, we'll be marching down State Street from from the blue and white medical building to Summit.
Summit Avenue.
Yeah, it's a center over at Summit on Summit.
Yes.
Where we're marching to stop the violence, not just black on black violence, but violence. Period, point blank. Because in the last couple of weeks, I have a sweatshirt that I didn't wear today because I'm trying to stay focused. So I wore my Stay Focused shirt by Nicholas. But I have a sweatshirt that say "Protect the Black Woman at any cost," and I have worn that more this week than any other week because I don't know if you guys remember Christmas season. It was a young lady found in her car shot with a child. We just had another situation where a young lady and her mother was shot. We had a situation where a young lady and the children were shot. Like, what is y'all doing?
Why are you reading my mind? I've been talking about that all week.
What is y'all doing? Like, I heard you. I'm just confirming. Like, as a woman coming to y'all, I'm asking where our protection at. I'm being bold. Where is our protection?
Where
is it at?
I say all the time to the ladies, do your homework on these men. And until you really get to know them, be careful and safe about bringing them around your children.
But you know what it's been? Period. It's been when the breakup comes.
Yeah.
And they getting to the point where if I can't have you, can't nobody have you, so they killing people. So that's
you gotta
like
even be clever. I don't even know how you would be clever with that because,
because they coming back. One that the both instances that person had left, and the person found them and came back. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, and you gotta communicate with your family or your friends if you're in a volatile situation. Let your police department know.
Yes.
I am an advocate for women and carrying arms safely. Go to classes. Go to the gun range. Get a piece that is comfortable for you.
Peace, be still.
Get a taser. Get a bat. Get a knife. Something to protect yourself physically if you don't approve of guns. Learn some self-defense
moves.
Classes. You
and if your children old enough, take them with you.
Oh yeah, my boy's been on the shooting guns since they was 12 or 13, and it's legal.
Yes.
Before y'all get all up in my business.
Yes, I mean, be safe. But
I'm just asking where the protection at.
Yeah.
Because women. As a black woman, I'm asking men. Where y'all at?
Where y'all at? If like me, I'm so old fashioned about certain things, about going places and letting the wife go by herself, or here's the thing: if I'm out and about, number one, and I can do it myself, and I pick up whatever she needs, or if we order dinner or something, I'll pick it up instead of going all the way home and she go by herself. No, because I don't care where you are. It ain't just one particular area or city that things happen.
Violence happen everywhere.
Yeah, violence is everywhere. Just don't see it on the news as much as you do at other areas. Because, y'all think that East St. Louis is like the worst. But East St. Louis is not the worst. East St. Louis is just where they
dump and stop.
And they put it on the news on every little thing that they do. It happens in Fairview Heights, Collinsville, Charlotte.
Oh yeah, I followed this person on Facebook, and they give you the lowdown of everything that be happening. Yeah. And when it first got cold, it was people in Belleville stealing cars left and right, and they was giving locations of which car was missing. I really appreciate that. Yeah. But violence happens everywhere, and it doesn't have a certain look. It doesn't have a certain income. It's just a lot.
Yeah, a whole lot. So we're gonna get out of here. I enjoyed my sister, my friend, my co-host. She always have good topics, as I said before. Every second Saturday of the month from 9
life permitting.
to 10, 9 to 11, life permitting, and Red be on time. We're going to hang. And so we do community awareness, good old topics, and we talk about people with businesses. We don't say small business, we say businesses.
Right.
Because a business is just what it is, a business. So we thank Mr. Basha, because it is cold outside, y'all. Please be safe. Gas these vehicles up,
Don't get below a quarter of a tank because
Yeah.
your gas will freeze.
Yeah, so do all
Make
that
sure your
and more.
windshield wipers are together. Make sure your
Yes.
headlights are together. Make sure you have air, the correct air in your tires because in the wintertime it gets cold and some of the air pressure comes out. So make sure you guys are paying attention to
Yes,
all of
ma'am.
that. Have your winter kit in the car, which is a blanket, socks, gloves, hat, an extra coat.
Come on now.
Let me see
And
what.
clothes if you can.
Yeah, like have all that stuff.
Yeah, just you just never know, and so and if you can afford it, get your remote start so you can hit that and let that vehicle warm up.
Man, it was so cold the other day, mine wouldn't even start.
Oh man.
I was upset.
It's
Get it, though.
Yeah, get it if you can afford it. And
Get you
anything
some
else-
salt,
Yes.
shovels.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, because you don't want nobody to fall on your property because they.
I already told people, step on my property at your own risk. All you getting out of me is some ramen noodles.
And we're gonna get out of here on that note. It is 11 o'clock in the morning, and you guys, I know people are going to be out celebrating Valentine's and all that again.
Wear your
tomorrow.
mask if you out.
Yes.
Wash your hands.
Yes. Yes. I just ordered a brand new mask, one of them real uppity up masks, because they're talking about bringing the kids back to school. So I am getting myself prepared for that. Tomorrow they're saying, the temperature is going to drop and it's supposed to start snowing around noon time. So hopefully it will hold off for people that still want to go out for Valentine's. But if not, be safe out there. We're getting out of here. And
You gotta
we will
pray 'em
talk.
out.
No, I let my guest and my co-host pray.
I'm not no guest.
I said my co-host.
Dear Heavenly Father, in the name of Jesus, take care of your people, especially Reverend. Fix his time, Lord.
Oh, Lord.
Watch over everybody. In the name of Jesus, amen.
Amen, amen. So we will talk to you all on the second Saturday in March. Good morning. Thank you so much for listening to WKCJ Gospel Radio with your host, Reverend Heitch. Tune in each Tuesday through Friday from 5 to 7 where we play good old gospel music, read the Word of God, church shout-outs, have guests on the show, and we end with prayer. Please be blessed.